And we are back. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us on this lovely Friday. The Doin Alright podcast brought to you by our good friends at Ownwell. Thank y'all very much tapping on in with us. Man, Bryan Broaddus.
Yes.
Got some Q&A today. We love to do that on Fridays, just giving everybody a good old heads up. We ain't coming to work Monday. Sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So y'all can watch all the pregame preview shows and all that kind of stuff. Bryan's going to be working 15 hours on the radio and stuff like that. So y'all can go watch some of that content. But we won't be here. I'll be on my channel. I might drop a little video or something. But we definitely holding y'all down today. After that, we'll be back Tuesday. But let's break down some of this here, Bryan. We got some Q&As from you. We got some really good questions from y'all. But there's been a striking development. Me and Broaddus sitting right here at our this ain't round. What is it, Bryan? This oblong? This is a round.
Kind of an egg shape. What would egg shape be?
We got an egg shaped table here sitting down at it, Bryan. A couple of things I want to run by you on the injury front.
Yeah.
Solomon.
No, here we go.
Get you right there.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Bryan, man, Solomon was rehabbing yesterday.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Some of our media friends was putting out pictures on the social medias yesterday on the Twitter machine, showing us some of Cowboy practice. We got a chance to look at Quinnen Williams in his '92 jersey, overshown and tackling drills. It looked fine. Solomon wasn't doing nothing, Bryan. Right. So what's the update on that?
Yeah, I feel like though, and just kind of visiting with some folks and talking about how this thing is probably going to play out. You're dealing with a calf injury, and that was on the injury report yesterday for the Cowboys. So they've got 2 more practices after this until they go for the Monday night game in Las Vegas. But Solomon Thomas, with that calf, we kind of understand the history of these calf injuries and how when they happen, you're not expecting your players to be back and ready from that. So this is something that we absolutely need to keep an eye on going forward. But I don't believe you're going to have Solomon Thomas Voch playing this week for the game against the Raiders.
Now, Bryan, Solomon Thomas is going to be out.
Right.
Is that like IR out, or is that
this we got to figure out, because if you look at the roster the way it is, and this is just, here I am, I'm going to play doctor for you here today. But you're talking about a calf injury, and these things never are something that heal very quickly. And so I as I mentioned, I think you have to keep an eye on this one. This one could be a couple of weeks, could be several weeks, with that. We'll see. I didn't hear it was a mild strain or something like that. But yeah, these calves are not very easy to deal with. They're very tricky from the medical standpoint of things. So I would anticipate that the Cowboys are probably looking at options right now, because they've got to find ways now to get some guys on the roster. They're going to have to make some moves, and maybe this Solomon Thomas calf injury will allow them to make a move. If we talk about Perrion Winfrey,
sure.
Perrion Winfrey is going to, if you want to bring him on, and yesterday he was a full practice participant for your Dallas Cowboys. If that's going to be the case and you want to get him on, he has got to come onto the active roster some way. That means you're going to have to make a corresponding move, and maybe Solomon Thomas might be the corresponding move.
So Quinnen took Mazi's spot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You worry about that one in particular. But Mazi was a guy that was on and off the inactive,
Right.
He wasn't a guaranteed every week spot.
No, him and JT were kind of switching off and on there.
You got 3 tackles and like a swing defensive tackle guy that
right.
go with week to week. I would imagine that looks something like Perrion and, Toia being the swing guy
sure.
this week. But Toia's on the roster.
Right.
To be swung. Perrion has to be added, or he's on.
He has to be added. He has to be added. Yeah, he was in that category where it was the designation to return. So he's back practicing. He had that window. They had started that window a while back, and so now they were just kind of waiting for a spot. There's several players that were injured that they were wanting to bring back, and their windows are starting to be up, and they're getting closer to either being back on that list or being put on the active roster. And I think this week we'll see with what happens with Winfrey. They've got to come up with a couple other spots too when it comes to getting
Overshown and
Revel on. They're going to have to come up with 2 other corresponding. So likely you're going to see 3 moves before this team gets on an airplane on Sunday to go to Las Vegas.
Now, Brian, you normally talk about the 53rd player.
Yeah.
You think this is going to be more of a position group thing, or is this going to be the 51st through 53rd guy gets out of here? You know, like we talking about Winfrey. You need to make room in the tackle room. Do you just carry an extra defensive tackle like the Cowboys were doing? If Solomon does end up on IR and Winfrey takes that roster spot, then that kind of equals up to what they've been doing in the first place there. But as far as Demo coming back, I guess your last linebacker would be Damone Clark.
I think you have to. I think you have to start to look at the positions where are you comfortable taking away one of these offensive linemen? Let's be honest about that.
Hakeem Adeniji,
yeah. I'm just looking through the depth chart right now, and with Cornelius is a guy that I believe he was on the injury report yesterday with a limited. He was limited practicing yesterday. Am I right about that? Do you have that? So there might be some guys that they're about to stash here when Johnny Cornelius. If he's limited, maybe it's one of those things. Well, it didn't really work out well. We need to put him on IR. Maybe we'll see some IR moves, but I kind of feel like Adeniji, Cornelius, are a couple of guys you mentioned. You also mentioned about Clark as a possibility there. How about Clark, the safety?
Elijah Clark.
I
can probably see that happening.
Yeah,
but the problem with that is your safety's coming back.
Yeah.
Right? So your safety's there. Hooker was on IR.
Yeah.
So he's coming back.
Hooker's got to be added back to the roster as well.
So that's kind of where I'm going with this, right? It's not like
it's not cut and dry.
It ain't easy. We would all say that the 53rd guy would be like what, Jalen Tolbert or something? Like Jalen.
Well, see, this is depending on
Damone Clark.
See, initially, I kind of felt like before he started going was Clowney. What was Clowney doing that you were like?
Clowney's up now.
Clowney's up. So now, okay, how about Bridges, the corner?
I think Weezy is definitely a guy that you can look at. And honestly, I think you can, how they're kind of operating with Childress and Malik Davis?
Yeah.
How they can cut those guys because they feel like nobody in the league is going to take them and then just kind of bring those guys back. I think you're probably going to be looking in that direction, Brian.
Yeah.
Weezy Bridges wasn't a hot commodity out here.
You could also kind of talk about some things with what do they feel about Stewart?
I think they like Reddy a little more.
Yeah, I think he's done some things. He's shown some versatility. When they've had to play him, he's been okay. I think the guys like Adeniji, I think Bridges, I think maybe Johnny Cornelius on back to an IR. I think I've got that right, the way that thing can kind of work right now for him.
Let me tell you where I disagree with Adeniji, Brian. Because he can play tackle, and he showed up and played a really good game of guard for you.
Sure.
So Hakeem Adeniji can play a lot more than just one spot. I'd rather keep him than like Bass, honestly.
Well,
but they're not letting go.
No, they're not going to let go of Bass.
Bass ain't got no money though. Bass doesn't have Hoffman money.
Yeah. See, that's what to me, I kind of look at it as a situation where they would go with Nate Thomas as the swing. They would go with Bass as the swing. I mean, Bass could even play center if you had to in a pinch. We saw him do that. So I think to me, the one that makes the most sense would be Adeniji, to be honest with you.
I'd be so upset because I think Hakeem Adeniji probably a little better.
Oh, no, he played well. You're not wrong about that. It's just that they might agree with you on that. I just kind of feel like, though, I'm looking like, okay, who are the guys you want to keep? And would Adeniji be a guy that somebody would, put I think that to me, now we should be getting to the point too where we're looking at vested veterans and stuff like that. So if you let a guy like Adeniji go, we have to see about the subjects to waivers and stuff like that and how that all works out. But that's a 6-year guy, so that would be a vested veteran release right there, is what that would be.
Has Toia played too many games to be cut and added to the practice squad? And if he hasn't, do you think that another team would want to take him from you?
Say again, the player?
Toia, Jay Toia. Defensive.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that maybe somebody will go back to their their college reports, and maybe some pro guys have watched him play enough in the preseason and watched him play some in the regular season to say, hey, listen, wow, we could sure use a young 330-pound guy that I think you'd have to go back on your college reports if you were to put a claim in for him.
I think it's going to be difficult, Brian.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be difficult.
I got to check the rules, too, about this whole thing with the vested veterans, because there might be a thing after the trade deadline. After the trade deadline, then everybody's subjected to the waiver claims. There was a time before the trade deadlines where you had vested veterans, and you can immediately – these rules have changed so much since. So, I mean, the thing when you ask the question about identity, I mean, it might be like, oh, he has to go through waivers, or the fact that he is a 6-year vet. That could be a vested veteran thing. I've got to check the ruling on that.
So let's do it like this, Brian. Matthew says this. He says, what's the deal with Mingo? I assume he's not playing because of flow, but do you think he should get playing time? And you compare that with the conversation that we're having right now. It's like, what are they doing with Tolbert the last couple of weeks? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's not getting targets. I don't think he's getting a whole much playtime either, Brian.
Yeah.
I don't know his snaps or whatever. I should go look at his snaps the last few games. But I would imagine you got 6 receivers. Mingo's not playing because Tolbert is active. And there's no emergency to get Mingo in the game. But Brian, what's the deal with Mingo?
Yeah, I think the thing with Mingo is that to me, I think it goes back to we always talk about this when we break down the 53-man roster and we say, who's sponsored? Who's got sponsors here? And, I think there was a previous regime that had sponsorship with Tolbert's and stuff. I think Tolbert is very, very well liked by the front office. I don't think they want to admit that they probably were wrong on him. And I think he's very, very close to Dak Prescott.
Versus the Cardinals, Tolbert had 7 snaps, 4 was on offense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It might be, you might be onto something here. We might be getting to that point in time now where the coaching staff won't protect him anymore. I believed that the front office, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, they think the world of Tolbert. But you look at Dak Prescott, I think he thinks the same thing. Who's the one guy that's always coming to the Dak yard when it's 103 degrees? Tolbert's always showing up for workouts. And Tolbert, but we might be getting to the point now where his roster spot is not it's put now more in pencil than it is in pen.
Yeah.
And Mingo, like I said, I mean, we've been waiting. The thing with Mingo is we were told all year, this is why we're not going to do anything at receiver. We're not going to do anything at receiver because they wanted to see what Mingo. We've yet to know what Mingo really, really is at all.
Brian, I see a lot of people asking about how to get the 3 tackles involved.
Yeah.
And my take is constantly evolving every week. I mean, every day. Brian, the more we talk about this, and I know there's a lot of people that are excited about this 5-man front. Colin Brennan says, do you anticipate the base defense being the 5-2 look or a 4-3 over under, or whatever you want the look to be? And Brian, the more I think about it, the more I'm not the biggest fan of the idea of trying to get all 3 tackles on the field at the same time.
Sure.
Because in order to do that, one, you would have to take one of your edges off the field. I don't think you can do that because they got a different role than the interior guys. But my biggest reason for thinking that is I think if you truly want to unlock something special on this on this defense, I think you have to stop the run with less guys and drop more dudes back in the coverage.
Yeah.
It's not like you added defensive players for your secondary. You did for your linebackers and your D-line, Brian. So you're going to have to make your secondary better with scheme and help guys. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in this attempt to be nice or not play politics with the guys, with your D tackles or whatever, Brian, it's like you're loading up the box for no reason. Because if I'm a offense coordinator and I see that you in a base 5-2 the whole game, I'm throwing the football.
Yeah.
I'm going to line up, 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers or whatever. I'm lining up in empty, and I'm going to make Jadeveon Clowney cover one of my receivers if you're going to stay in this look.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cowboys can stay in this look the entire game. And I think people want to get in this look because, you can't take Osa off the field. You can't take –
Sure.
Man, you can. You can take those guys off the field.
Yeah.
I think I don't. You'll probably see it sometimes. You see a couple goal line stuff, some 1st and 10s, type stuff. You may see that, but I think when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and Vegas gonna spread you out too.
Yeah,
Vegas gonna 4 wide spread you out if they want to. You ain't gonna run a 5-2 versus that. I think you have to man up, put your nuts on the table. Pardon me, and my brothers ain't listening, and like say, hey, somebody got to sit down.
Yeah,
and it ain't gonna be Quinnen Williams. He's the best of those guys.
No.
And technically, Clark is probably better than Osa. I think a lot of people got to have a real conversation about Osa.
No, I don't think you're wrong about that. I'll say this though: what's the thing going into this game you absolutely would worry about? I mean, I think we would both worry about Brock Bowers in this game.
Passing, yeah.
Passing.
Yeah.
Do you worry about Ashton Gente running the football against you, and maybe the similar game plan that Carolina had against you?
The Carolina Panthers are a team that's built to run the football. Mm-hmm. The Raiders are not. The Carolina Panthers at least have an offensive line that's built to kind of move you around.
Sure.
The Raiders don't. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at all the other games, you just watch previous opponents. Carolina runs the ball against everybody.
Sure.
If it's Chuba or if it's Rico. Rico now had a 250 rushing yard day prior to playing us.
Right.
So they run the football. The Raiders haven't run the ball well all year.
Right.
So if anything, if I'm the Cowboys, I've seen the Cowboys stop the run more than I've seen them stop quarterbacks from throwing the football against us. I think stopping big plays in the passing game is the Cowboys' biggest nonsense going on right now.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Guys that don't throw the football well against anybody else. Bryce Young, Russell Wilson, Jalen Hurts, terrible. All those guys, they throw the football against you. Jacoby Brissett threw the football against you. Bo Nix threw the football against you. I'd be goofy if I just sat up here and assumed, well, there's no way Geno Smith going to throw the ball.
Oh, no, I don't think you can. See, that's why I'm saying I think, to me, you're right. You're not wrong about Osa Odighizuwa.
But they do. They find a way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And we ain't got nobody to cover Brock Bowers like that. We ain't gonna shut down dude. We got to beat the passing game with scheme.
Yeah. No.
We got one guy that's going to stop that. Somebody asked, I ain't say this one, but it was like, hey, Voch, you think we should put Revel on Brock Bowers?
I saw that one.
What?
Yeah.
What's going to do that for? This man ain't played football in 2 years against Brock Bowers?
Sure.
Best tight end in the game?
Sure.
He played better than Kelsey right now.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that.
No.
So if that's how we're going to do it.
But your conversation, what you want to lead with, though, here is the big story is Osa. We need to have that conversation about Osa through into week 11.
I just think we have to be to a point to where, I said this on the break yesterday.
Sure.
Football has been this since the beginning of time. Yeah. The better dudes make another dude sit down.
I agree.
It just is what it is.
I agree.
Osa got a captain patch, but if you come to me talking about some, but Voch, Osa's a captain and he's been here, that's politicking.
Yeah.
That's politicking. And I'm not in
That's not your best players, is it?
I'm not in the space for politicking. I'm not, shouts out to Osa. I don't know him. Like, if I'm being objective and talking about what's best for my football team, then your captain badge don't necessarily mean anything to me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if it's run defense, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If it's pass defense, like we're just talking about pass rushing, Kenny Clark got the most pressures on the team.
He does.
Osa's the bursty guy, but Clark got the most pressure on the team.
He does.
And I ain't taking Quinnen Williams off the field unless he's tired.
Yeah.
I think we just got to have a real life conversation about Osa. And I think this whole how do we get all the guys on the field? I think that's people being nice to Osa for real.
Yeah. They're trying to find ways to. Yeah. So
if Osa didn't get paid, Brian, we
wouldn't be having this conversation.
Brian, we're talking about 2 first-round picks in Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
2 bona fide veteran Pro Bowl type guys.
Yeah.
In Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. We should be looking at Osa. Think about how the Eagles looked at Milton Williams.
Yeah.
I know the money ain't the same. I'm just talking about the type of guy.
Yeah.
Get off the ball, you pass rush, but you rotate in. When Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter came off the field, Milton Williams went in. And to Milton Williams' credit, he tore shit up.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl, he tore shit up.
Yeah.
I don't see what's wrong with the idea that Osa could be that guy.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams got a much higher pedigree than you. Kenny Clark got a much higher pedigree than you. They both this year have played better than you. You got a captain's badge, you got paid, and you've been a part of this organization longer than both of them. That's not enough to say that you're better than them.
Right.
So I don't want to introduce politics to this party and sit Osa down because he got a captain.
Yeah, but this is
CJ Goodwin got a captain.
This is the history.
Donovan Wilson got a damn captain bad.
This is the history of this organization, though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The history of this organization is not always play the best guys, right? Right. So I don't.
And you ain't got the room to do that now. Let me put it down. Hell of me. You ain't got the room to do that now. You got to beat the Raiders. If you don't beat the Raiders, we drafting, Brian.
Yeah.
If you don't beat the Raiders, we coming in here next Tuesday talking about what the business is with these picks. Where we at on tank? That's where we at.
Yeah.
So you ain't got room to mess around.
I agree. Totally agree.
No captain badges.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Appreciate you though, Caelen. I ain't mean to fuss on your question. We wasn't fussing at you, but it's just the overall. Like,
they won't do that.
They will not.
No,
trust me, they will not.
No,
you ain't wrong. They'll sit Kenny Clark, who's playing better than those before they. You ain't lying.
No,
you ain't lying. Let me see. Brad, Smalls HD asks great questions every single week, man. Smalls talks ball. Shouts out to Smalls. He says, do you think with the recent level of aggression from this front office in terms of trade and player acquisition in season,
sure,
you think that's more of a shoddy thing, advocating for something, or I'll just add this to what he's saying, or you think that's Jerry Jones going, man, I got to make something shake right now? You think it's more the front office changing their ways and being more aggressive, or is this shoddy advocating for it?
I kind of feel like this is Jerry Jones being 83 years old. He didn't have any campaigns left, and I don't mean to sound morbid by that, but it's true. You know, there's a sense of urgency, and folks out there look at me right now and go, Broaddus, where was that sense of urgency for the last 30 years? The man's 83 years old. I mean, this comes to a point in time, and you know what? Be honest with you, Voch. I think he hears you. I think he hears you.
Yeah.
I think he hears you, fan base.
Yeah.
I think he hears you. I think it's starting to, when we get a chance on 105.3 The Fan, whether to interview Steven or interview Jerry Jones, they comment about what's going on and what happens after a loss to Arizona. Jerry Jones, I understand where the fan base is right now. I understand that. You know, so I think as a fan base that you guys have done a really good job of voicing your displeasure in where this team's at. And so you could keep that up. But I think that Jerry Jones also realizes that he doesn't have many more campaigns. And he has to go out and try and find ways. I don't know if it's about trying to keep his team interesting. I think he's seriously looking at the NFC and saying, okay, where are the teams? Where do I need to be? How do I handle this? You know, I think the trades. This is where it's going to come down to. You find a way that you don't win against the Raiders. Voch is right. We turn into draft mode. But what you also need to find out then at that point in time is, okay, what do I have to do now going forward in free agency? Okay, we'll see. Let's evaluate Quinnen Williams. Let's evaluate Logan Wilson. Let's evaluate some of these guys coming back. And then how aggressive. I think this team needs to be aggressive in free agency anyway this coming year. I think you need to set yourself up in free agency so you can have some flexibility in the draft. I don't think you want to go into this coming draft, and just say we have to draft defensive players. You need to find out if the guys you've added and then the new guys you've added can play, and then go and supplement some of those other spots in free agency. You can't sit on your hands and bottom fish here. You just can't do that. So to me, I think this is Jerry Jones, Will McClay, Stephen Jones. I think they're hearing this fan base talk about their team, and I think that the fans want you to do something about it. And I think this is Jerry Jones doing something about it. Jerry was
73 10 years ago, man.
Sure he was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he'd been too old to be a GM for a long time.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying, Brian? And there's never going to be a time where he's going to retire.
I think the day-to-day operations are with Steven and Will.
Yeah.
But the sign-off on the stuff, hey, let's run it past, like, you know, you make a trade for Quinnen Williams where you give up one of the first-round picks, or you pick swap that thing. You know, that's Jerry, we're thinking about this is how the deal is going to be structured.
Yeah.
But I think the fan base, I think the Jones family is looking now at the fan base. We've seen, and I hate to bring in another sport, but where you and I are based out of here in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
The Dallas Maverick fans got a general manager fired. Yeah. They did. They went after ownership, and ownership said, you're right. So, you know, I could see the way that, you know, and it's getting more and more each year with this fan base. It really is. It's getting more and more each year of like failure. Why is there failure? What's the common denominator? All these things. I mean, it's serious now, and I think the Joneses see it as being serious as well.
Well, Bryan, I ain't gonna lie. That just made me sad.
Yeah.
So while I cool off, I'm gonna let you tell us about our good friends at Ownwell.
Hey, thanks, Voch. Hey, homeowners, a quick timeout for you. That property tax bill your county's about to drop on you, you don't have to eat that thing. Ownwell can fight it in about 3 minutes. No upfront cost, nothing out of pocket. They handle the whole process for you. The paperwork, the appeal, even the hearing. If it goes that far. You don't want it to go that far, but Ownwell will handle that for you. Most people end up getting their value lowered and save around $1,100, and that's a no-win, no-fee deal. And if they don't save you money, you don't pay. Once you're in, they keep checking every year to make sure that savings stacks up season after season. Do us a solid, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. That supports our show and gets you free savings estimates in just minutes. Ownwell keeps it simple. Less stress, lower tax bill, more money back. Everybody wins. Tell them that Bryan sent you.
Man, Bryan, I'm just assuming something, right? Let's just say we go up in that Raiders game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just say we go up in that Raiders game, and all these additions that we've added on defense. What if Quinnen Williams looked just as bad as all the rest of these guys have been?
Sure.
What we do then? Like, now what?
Yeah.
I know we're going to be drafted if that's the case.
Yeah.
But, man, the Cowboys don't fire people in season.
No.
They typically don't. But if Quinnen Williams come out here looking goofy, like, then what?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get in a situation and you allow this Raider offensive line, and we both agree that we feel like this is the poorest offensive line that they've played so far this season, 11 weeks, 12 weeks into the season, that if they get blocked by this group, you've got some bigger issues than you can even imagine. And if Quinnen Williams goes out there and doesn't look effective, and I mean, they need him to play well. They need Kenny Clark to play well. But yeah, this turns into, if you go out there, like I said, you go out there and lose to the Raiders, then it becomes, okay, where's the evaluations now? Now it's evaluating, okay, what's about the defensive tackle? What's going on at end? What's going on at corner? What's going on at linebacker? That's where the evaluations start to because you clearly. It might be more than just the players. You might have to. I think you evaluating the coaches as well in that situation. Probably not the head coach, but you're evaluating the defensive coaches. If they can't find ways to get players like Quinnen Williams going, who is one of the best defensive tackles in the National Football League, that's an indictment on the staff here right now, if that's the case.
Do you think there's something to Quinnen when he was with the Jets? He played his best football. He was an A-gap guy.
Yeah.
And this is technically a down year for him, and he's still one of the best versus
right.
Run. But he was more of a B-gap dude this year.
Right.
You think that maybe we'll get a better version of him if he comes here and plays A-gap?
Yeah, I think that Coach Whitecotton, I think Aaron Whitecotton understands where Quinnen Williams needs to play. And I think that's where he has to convey that to Matt Eberflus. Like, listen, if you're going to play this guy at 3 technique, you're going to probably not be as good. Play him at 2. Play him at the 1 technique. Play him inside shoulder and let him attack. Let him take on those blockers. Let him get rid of those blockers and let him go make plays. This is the one advantage that you do have, that you have a coach that has coached him before and has had success with him. And I think that probably that Aaron Whitecotton is going to tell Matt Eberflus, you need to play him at that inside, that 1 technique, and let him go to work.
I'm tweeting this right now, Bryan. To help versus, I'm tweeting right now. Somebody was kind of asking, what's our base formation gonna look like? And a lot of people are asking us this, so I'm basically just putting out there in the Twitterverse.
Yeah.
Here's my base formation, bro.
Okay.
EZ.
Yep.
Clark. Williams.
Yeah.
Clowney.
Mm-hmm.
Demo, Logan Wilson. If you want to Demo and bring them back slow and just rotate, I guess. But Demo and Logan Wilson.
Yeah.
And with that, play more sub packages to help with the pass.
Yeah.
Stop and run with 6.
Yeah. Try to
think about that.
Yeah. No, I don't have a problem with that. I think you've got some guys that it actually can. I think that Ezra Rocco has done a really good job of developing as a run defender. I think as a pass rusher, he's starting to come around on that. You've got two guys inside. We've talked about Quinnen Williams a bunch. Kenny Clark playing the run. I think with him, that would probably take less double teams off him, and he could have some single up matchups, against this Raider inside three. I think that will help the situation. You've got Clowney on the other side, who's been much better against the run. He's shown up against the pass. Logan Wilson is a downhill linebacker. What we saw in Cincinnati, his ability to read, diagnose, fill, all those things are super, super positive right there. So yeah, and with the thing with Overshown, do you want to bring Overshown as a rusher? I personally feel like that we're going to see some kind of combination initially. We'll see it with Murray, Wilson, and James, and then also though with Overshown being kind of worked in at some various spots. But initially, it's going to be a little bit of mixing some things up, and then as they feel more comfortable, you'll probably see more of Overshown in this game.
Two questions, Bryan. What is the Cowboys secondary going to look like for the most part, and how would you deploy those guys?
Well, that's the thing about it.
What are they going to do, and what would Bryan do?
I think you're going to have your starters back. I think that you're going to have Hooker and Wilson back at the safeties. I think it's going to be a situation too where you're going to have with Bland as being one of the, of course, the starting corner. I'll be interested to see. I do not feel like that they're going to put Ravel out there at the other cornerback spot and say, let's go to work. I think it's still going to be the combination of Elam, Bridges, Stewart, those guys. I think maybe Carson. Carson showed up a little bit more. Maybe it'll be a deal where would you start Carson over Elam over Bridges? But like I said, we keep talking about Bridges. Bridges might be a guy that might be out of here when it comes to. So we'll see. Once you get Ravel, it might be the swap right there. But I think that opposite of Bland would be likely either going to be Carson or Elam. Boy, I'd love to see Carson be the guy out there after what he showed in the Arizona game.
Yeah. I just think it's the first problem is I don't think Flus knows who he is right now. You know what I'm saying?
As a coordinator?
As a coordinator. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
with the Cowboys as a coordinator?
I feel like he was fantastic everywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Not head coaching the Bears, right?
Yeah.
But when he was just calling plays,
yeah.
I feel like everywhere he went, he was fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look, maybe we finally got some talent that can help him get to his highest potential and
sure.
save his job at the end of this thing. Mike McCarthy did it.
Yeah.
When I thought they was firing his ass, Mike McCarthy came back for another campaign because he went on a run. We'll see, Bryan. But I think 1 week we're all right, guys, we're going to go out there and practice press man at practice this week.
Yeah.
Like we're getting reports. And we was at camp the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And in week 6, we're getting reports from our media friend, they're working on press man this week.
Yeah.
What you mean we working on press man?
Sure.
What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And people, Nick Harris take great pictures. He's showing a lot lined up, jamming at the line. Like, y'all doing this now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think Flus know. I think he wanted to roll out some stuff that's technical as all get out. I feel like if you saw the signs that it didn't work in camp, I wouldn't run it out in the regular season. I guess he ran those out anyway, and I guess that's just where we are, Bryan. But just to answer the last couple questions, man, we come out here, Quinnen looking crazy, and Overshown can't save us. Like,
well, that's but that's where you're at right now. That's your hope. Mm-hmm. That's your hope. I mean, you're in a situation right now where your defense has not played well all year, and so now the hope is okay. You made a couple additions. You added one of the better defensive tackles in the league. You've added a linebacker that you feel like can play with awareness, can play downhill, can tackle, the things that you might have thought. I mean, to be honest with you, they've really misevaluated the linebacker position this year. They have. I mean, you're thinking, well, where's Maris Leofau been? Well, maybe Maris Leofau, he was a Mike Zimmer guy. Well, he's not a Matt Eberflus guy. These things all happen. And, that's the problem when you have 3 different defensive coordinators is you have this mismatch of personnel. And I think ultimately, though, one of the reasons why this team has struggled so badly on defense is because of that Matt Eberflus doesn't probably feel like he's got the guys that can play his scheme, and the players have absolutely zero confidence right now in Matt Eberflus as a defensive coordinator. It's a very dangerous situation to be in.
Yeah, man, Brian, something just made me think about something. You know, the Jets played on Thursday Night Football. I ain't watching, but they did play. I just kind of went to go see if Mazi did something. You know what I'm saying? Went to go see. I think he played, but it's all zeros across the board.
Yeah.
I just wonder if Mazi going to go to the Jets and be great next year. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like in this one developmental year where we're looking at Mazi, and he doesn't do much, but this is the year where everybody hasn't done much.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of blame went on. Mazi Smith became the low-hanging fruit for the defense. When you wanted to complain about the defense, you complained about Mazi Smith is what you did. That was just the immediate go-to. And you wonder if Mazi gets with a coach that will work with him. Mazi's I think he's a very emotional kid. His emotions go up and down. It goes game to game. They could win and he could be really upset because he knows he didn't play well and his stat line is what it is, just like what you read there, Voch. A bunch of zeros across the board. This is a new opportunity for him. In Dallas, they gave him chances, but it was just a failed pick. It really, really was. I think Will McClay fought for Dan Quinn on this one, and it ultimately Dan Quinn left, and Mazi Smith had a bunch of different coaches, and it is what it is.
It is what it is, Bryan Broaddus. But, hey, man, I appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Answering questions for me. I appreciate y'all asking them. You know what I mean? Thank y'all for tapping in with us every single Friday. It means the world to us. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're not going to be here Monday, but we're going to get all of the information, and we'll be right back Tuesday, and we'll break down what happened. And, hey, we either going to talk draft or, you know what I'm saying? But we'll let y'all know when we get there. Go to our website, crownglobalmedia.com. You'll find everything that you're looking for, all the links to the audio, the merch, every single thing. It is all there in one place. Some of my content, all the social pages, it's there. And that's Bryan Broaddus. I'm VOCHLOMBARDI. We'll catch y'all Tuesday. Crown.